Hey guys, what's up? This is Wolfgang Fist coming at you guys with another video. And today we're going to be talking about some characters, and we're going to break down their archetypes and there's a bunch of other nonsense. I don't really have like a general like solid idea yet. It's just something I came up with. So I'm just going to start, and I'll probably put exactly what this is once the video is done, as on the title. But today we're going to be talking about my favorite character, Vegeta. Now, I know he's like almost everybody's favorite character. He's a very popular character, I know, but Vegeta holds a very special place in my heart, and it's all about his character type, which is it's nothing special. He's the anti-hero, but it's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about the anti-hero part of Vegeta and why the anti-hero makes such a dynamic character, and why Vegeta is just a really good character because of it. And in my opinion, I think he's the best character in the whole series. And you guys can say what you want about Gohan. I'm even a Vegeta fan. Well, I don't care. Go whoever you like. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. And in my opinion, I think Vegeta's the best character in the whole series. Toriyama, I know he's definitely going to agree with me because from right here, he's his least favorite character. But I'm gonna give you the reason why, and it's basically the concept of the anti-hero. And I find the concept of the anti-hero very, very, very unique and interesting, simply because, especially throughout Dragon Ball. In Dragon Ball, we get introduced to a lot of different characters throughout the series. Each one of Goku's friends that he meets all starts off as a villain or a rival or whatever, and ultimately becomes his friend and heroes that fight alongside him. We get Yamcha, villain, boom, good guy. We get Tien, boom, villain, good guy. Oh, I can't forget Krillin. I don't really count Krillin as a villain, because he's like they were just rivals, so I don't count Krillin as a villain. But then we get Piccolo, who before Vegeta was one of the most interesting characters to come into conception, I feel, because he just had this whole full circle transformation. I'll get into that another day. But when we talk about Vegeta, his character is particularly interesting because while he starts off as the villain and slowly progresses into the anti-hero, unlike with Piccolo, who has like a full circle change, it's going in from hero, the bad guy, anti-hero, into kind of pretty much a good guy. Vegeta he just stays the anti-hero. Like he doesn't really become like a good guy. He doesn't fight for what's just and what's right, which is what I always found interesting about the concept of the anti-hero. They fight for what's right by them. They fight for themselves basically, and it's not a just cause. It's a very selfish cause, but by him fighting by what's right by him, it makes a whole interesting dynamic because now it's like, oh, the bad guy is just an inconvenience for me because he doesn't do right by me, so I gotta help. I gotta get rid of him because it is for me, not for the rest of you guys. It's pretty funny and interesting how the ideals of an anti-hero and the heroes will usually collide. And it's just a very interesting concept. I'm doing this all like on whim. I didn't prepare for any of this, so if I come out stuttering, it's just don't mind me. I'll get back on track eventually. But yeah, that's what I always liked about Vegeta. And while during the Buu saga, that's when like he started slowly. That's when his change started becoming more complete. But he didn't change into just a full on hero like everyone else. Like everyone else who had this bad guy or tough guy persona with Goku's friends, they had like a full change, and their full complete change made them into a hero. But with Vegeta, it was totally different. He has a complete change. He has a complete character development arc, and he's still him. Like he still fights for himself. Even we watch in Dragon Ball Super, he is not fighting. He's not fighting Frieza's henchmen to save the world. He's fighting him because they're an inconvenience and they're a threat to him. And after I said in the Buu saga, he started fighting not just for himself but for his family. And while he does fight for other people, his family are basically an extension of him as far as he's concerned. So at the end of the day, he's still fighting for himself. So that's what I always really found interesting about Vegeta. And as we can see, he has no concern for anyone's life but his own and his family, because he just completely decimated Captain Ginyu with one full blown shot. Like, it's completely unloaded on that guy. And that's just Vegeta's character. And that's what makes the anti-hero interesting. It's just because they're morally great, and just being not being all just and heroic. And there's nothing bad about being heroic. It's just that in the media, and that's just commonplace to be good and do what's right. And it's a good message. People should always do what's right. I'm not telling everyone to be selfish bastards. Well, I think everyone should be, but it's just that it's just overdone and it's overused. And so is the concept of the anti-hero, but it's always refreshing. The anti-hero is always a refreshing concept because it just makes a gray line. It makes it always complements the hero even more so to have that morally like ambiguous character there, just being there and existing, and they just always make like a really interesting concept when the ideals of good and evil clash. That's all they do. They clash, and it's interesting. There's tension, but it gets boring. But the dynamic between the anti-hero and the hero, that's always it's always interesting because they always mix with each other, and sometimes the hero has no choice but to accept what the anti-hero is saying because it makes the most sense, whether he likes it or not. But it also influences the hero's decision on what he should ultimately do. While at the same time, what the hero believes in is slowly rubbing off on the anti-hero, and also slowly convincing him and making his decisions and just making him a more interesting and more well-rounded character. So that's why I always felt like the anti-hero was always a good concept, and why Vegeta is my favorite character in the entire series, solely based off that. And I could go on and on about why Vegeta is awesome and why the anti-hero concept is just a cool thing. But I think I've made my point with this video. Maybe if I go more into it, maybe I'll make another video on it. But for now, that's just my thoughts on how I feel about the concept of anti-hero and Vegeta being the anti-hero and why that makes him my favorite. All right, guys. So until next time, you guys have a wonderful day. Stay happy, stay healthy. See you guys in the next video.